talk to me a bit about war offensively. What you feel confident beating, what you need help finding a team to beat.
Heroes for Hire is a little tricky. The Hela Merc combo with Taskmaster, that combo, that one that one I really don't know. Those are the two that pop up in my head. You know, here we already talked about Heroes for Hire earlier, but yeah, that Hela
Mm-hmm.
Merc one is one that I really don't know. I know symbiotes won't work. I've done tried that in the past.
No.
Um, but yeah,
The Hella mercenary combo is a combo that the higher you go in war, the less that the people use it.
okay,
The best version on defense for mercenaries is the Shuri Killmonger version, which can be beaten. But what you're doing by putting Hela on the mercenary teams is you're consolidating your resources too much.
okay,
And yes, it's tricky for you as an attacker to kill that effectively without using something like Black Order or Shadowlands or something like that,
yeah,
where you're having to like waste resources that way. And that's the reason that it's there on the defense. Like I would not stress about the fact that you don't have a specific counter to take out the variant of mercenaries with Hella on it. Now we do need to make sure that you do have something that kills mercenaries, so we can talk about different options to do that.
yeah.
Um, and we can go about that two different ways. Would you pull up Hydra for me, please?
Oh, okay. I already know this is gonna be great, but okay, there we go.
No, that's okay. All right. So, Baron Zemo is a character that if you built this team out, you could definitely very easily take out a mercenary team. What you normally would do is you would normally take Baron Zemo, Red Skull, Hydra Grenadier, a Taunter, whether that be like Drax or Red Guardian, and then you throw on Winter Soldier. So I mean, you've got a 6 Red Star Winter Soldier, a really beefy Baron Zemo. The other pieces just aren't there for you right now. And it'd take a lot of work for you to do that I
Yeah.
wouldn't necessarily recommend. So this is like a backup option.
Okay.
Other option that you have right now, and you have more put into this, so it's more possible. Would you tag me skill military, please?
There you go.
Okay, so a couple reasons why I feel like this is a better option for you. This team, after its rework, has gotten considerably better
Okay.
against mercenary teams. And out of all of the people that I know that have this team at our level of war, you have a better chance of having this work well. And when you invest in there, it doesn't hurt you because this is a team you have to build up for challenges anyway. So this is content. I know you love building for content, so
Yeah.
this team is technically building for content.
Yeah.
And you've got that good Red Guardian. So what ends up happening, it does need a considerable number of T4s. I just finished putting all of the T4s in this team, and it was like 8. But
okay.
I feel like you probably have some of them already built in. So yeah, Red Guardian.
Plus, I need his
You
ult.
have yeah. So the ones that you need for the team are the special and the passive. So you're good on Red Guardian.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, he'll be better if you leveled him up to GT 15, but that's not something that you would need to do for the purposes of war.
All right. And anyone in the YouTube comments that are saying why did I do this the basic that was a misclick, and unfortunately they don't refund misclicks.
No, as someone who accidentally put a basic into the Kree Oracle, that I can tell you for a fact they do not refund for misclicks.
Yeah.
And then you have a G14 Punisher.
Yeah.
So, like, Punisher is going to be doing a lot of damage here. I actually recommend the ultimate. If you end up doing it, you would probably only really need the ultimate here, because what the ultimate is going to do is let's say that you have a character that's in yellow health,
Okay.
especially if that's Taskmaster, and you have the option of attacking. No one's taunting. You have the option of attacking. You can then click on that Taskmaster, hit the Punisher ultimate. He's going to with the T4. He's going to attack a single target attack on that Punisher, and then on that target. and then he's going to do his normal attack where he sprays bullets across the board. So he's going to basically pre-tap, then double tap on that primary target
All right.
for extra damage. So that's a really nice one. The droppable character here on the skeleton team is Killmonger, because you put Killmonger with Mercs, and that Black Widow is going to synergize really nicely with the rest of your team. So we can go here real quick to Black Widow. You only need 2 T4s on Black Widow. You need the passive. You had it right there, the Saboteur passive. That allows her, she always assists on Red Guardian or Yelena's turn. And when she's in stealth, which she often is on an assist, she'll still clear the debuffs, or she'll still buffs.
Okay.
So that's really helpful. And then the special is the other T4 that I would recommend putting in there, because then it's a clear.
Oh yeah.
And then you go over to the other two. Yelena Belova, 4 red stars is good. This is a character that I currently feel like I don't have high enough, and I have like a 50, 60k Yelena, because she can put in work if you have her built up enough. So like what you really need for her are going to be the passive, the Red Room Graduate passive, because that's what's going to end up happening, and this is critical for going into Merc specifically, because what's going to end up happening is if at any turn, if one of her allies other than Red Guardian has gotten a taunt, so like the Taskmaster passive that will put taunt on the highest damage or lowest health. I can't remember what it off the top of my head, but Taskmaster will put a taunt on a character you don't want to have a taunt. She will clear it on the end of any turn. So basically, it's a complete negation of that Taskmaster ability.
Okay.
And it'll give him regeneration and healing. So just really crucial for staying alive in that scenario.
Okay.
And then what also is great about Yelena is the right up there and above on her passive. If she has speed up, which she gets a lot from Black Widow, especially early, all skeleton allies gain 100% accuracy, which means even if Taskmaster lands his blind, the blind won't work. Because remember, blind strips 100% accuracy, then she gives an extra 100% accuracy, so they're just being able to hit through blind.
Yep. All right, that's awesome.
And then the other ability for her is the special, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because that's going to give a 2-turn disrupted.
All right, and get stealth. Awesome.
Yes.
All right.
And then you want the military soldier built up to level 65, level 70. 1 T4, it's absolutely mandatory, is the passive.
Okay.
Because he's going to give an extra 40% damage in war.
Yeah, the allies, yes, definitely. All right.
That is something that would take some investment, but that is going to be a relatively reliable regular mercenaries, not Hela, but regular mercenaries counter for you.
All right, yeah, I like that. Okay.
And it's one that you will end up building anyway to a decent level for challenges, because you have to, towards the end, you got to put ISOs and levels and all that stuff in them anyway. You might as well use them.
Yep. All right, yeah, I do like that.
All right, just for posterity and no other reason, let's just show off the fact that you still haven't built your Fantastic Four. I feel like it isn't a roster review unless we bring it up.
All right, let's do it. There we go.
Well, you have one character that's been built up. I feel like everyone that's ever given you a roster review has been like, "Why haven't you built up your Fantastic Four?"
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be like, "I know why you haven't built up your Fantastic Four." And it's because that they used to be good, and you can kind of still make them good if you have them already built up, but I wouldn't specifically build them up at this point now. Yeah. It's really just a matter of finding a home for Invisible Woman.
Yes.
Whether that's on war offense or war defense. And I definitely, things to consider with Invisible Woman, realistically speaking, is what are you doing in war with your Doom?
I honestly, I have him there as an option, but like I think I said, since I built it, which is actually not really, because I've only had him built up for 2 wars now, and both, like I said, last war and currently this war, He hasn't been used yet this war, and he wasn't used last war. So, and
So you're using him on offense,
he currently,
but
yes,
not
yeah,
or not using it on offense.
yeah.
Okay, so let's try building you a war defense team with Doom, because Doom is a fantastic character
All
to
right,
use on war
all right.
defense.
Let me go. Let me
Uh,
do it this way. Let me go to the thing here, and then create that way. We can do it, and I'll save it here so people can see the team then.
sure, absolutely. So let's go ahead and throw in Doom, obviously,
Okay.
and because she's also homeless, I feel like we should go ahead and throw in Invisible Woman.
Okay.
And part of the reason, if you'll save that and we can add to it later, because I want you to go into the kit on Doctor Doom so that I can explain to people why we're doing this.
Okay.
So Doctor Doom's passive. Um, if you scroll down just a hair on it, when this character or a Fantastic Four ally drops below 50% health, um,
Oh.
then
I,
all good. Well, that's also really
oh,
nice. So
too
there's
far.
two
Okay. There you
reasons.
go. I got it.
No, there's two reasons.
Okay.
The first one is so since we're pairing Doom with Invisible Woman. If either Doom or Invisible Woman drops below 50% health, they will get ability energy, and they're going to fill the speed bar by 50%. So that's going to help sustain for Invisible Woman. They'll feed her energy and allow her to maybe like clear a debuff or throw up a barrier more quickly. Then also having a Fantastic Four ally also gives Doom 10% damage and a 50% more focus. Having Invisible Woman on the team, so it's making a strong Doom even stronger.
Okay.
And because you don't really have like a full home for him yet, this is a great option to pair these two together.
Okay.
So now, realistically speaking, we just need to find you three other characters that work well with him.
Yes.
And there's a lot of different options here. My personal, the personal one that I'm using a lot is Brotherhood, but I don't feel like you have Brotherhood built up enough for this yet.
Okay.
So if you were to do this, the main thing that you would do on a Brotherhood Doom team is you take Magneto, Juggernaut, and Blob. Magneto will blind. What it basically does is it prevents, at the high end levels of war, teams are able to use symbiotes to clear Doom Marauder teams because they feed through all of the Doom bots and crush them that way.
Yeah.
But throwing Brotherhood, Magneto is going to blind and make it a lot harder with Juggernaut and Blob both there to get to Doom. So if you were to end up building this route, you would want to build Juggernaut and Blob to put over the Magneto. And you've got good stars on all three of those characters.
I just saw that. I was
so I mean, it is an option, and you put Doom in one corner and you pack everybody else on the other side away from him. Taunter, protect. Put all the protectors and the taunters away from Doom, just to hope to get going. It's more to force your opponent to double tap than anything else.
Okay.
Another thing that you can do, but it would sacrifice on more offense that I have seen work for people. If you will pull up X-Men, another thing that I have seen work is Phoenix and Colossus, providing protection for Doom. Realistically speaking, you want to delay as much as possible people being able to get to Doom.
Yeah.
And the pair of Phoenix and Colossus are going to make it tricky for them to get to Doom, and it'll make it a double tap. I mean, you're not gonna be getting 10 plus victories on defense with this, but I'm assuming you're on the lower end of the TCP in your alliance, so you're probably not in a room where you need to get 10 defensive wins. Putting Doom on defense will help.
Okay.
Especially in that regard. So we definitely need to build you a Doom defense. But I'm sure the Phoenix and Colossus are too valuable for you to take off. I mean, off of offense,
but
are they?
They're homeless. I basically just use them to get rid of random characters that deal high damage. Like sometimes if I see like a random Guardians or like, so they're not really being used as effective as a true X-Men team. They're basically take care of like Guardians. It's usually the number one thing. If there's a pure Guardians team, I usually will run them with 3 other people and to clear the Guardians off. And I could punch up most of the time.
Go ahead on there for now,
Okay.
because we're literally theory crafting
Okay.
right now.
All right.
That's what we're doing is we're just kind of theory crafting and trying to figure this out.
Okay.
And a fifth here on this team, you would realistically, there's a lot of different ways that you could do it. Yeah, go back to your all screen.
Okay.
Because we want to try to minimize the amount of work that you have to do.
Okay.
Scroll down for me. You use a surfer. I want to find characters that you don't use. Ghost, what are you doing with Ghost?
Nothing much. He's pretty much on the Pimtech team, but rarely. The only time I really use Pimtech is if it's a punch down and I feel comfortable that Ghost, even if all goes wrong, Ghost will still win it for me.
Sure. And Ghost is a great character you can pair with Doom. Like I've seen variants, and I personally have used in the past a variant where you put Ghost with the Brotherhood Doom team, so you would take off Toad, and put in Ghost for Toad, so that you would have Juggernaut, Magneto, Blob, Doom, and Ghost, and that makes it more tricky. So Ghost just makes everything trickier, and that in and of itself, right there, it's a hybrid mismatch team, but that's a scary team to beat, and that's going to be at least a double tap.
Okay.
For you. I don't like necessarily the alignment of it.
Okay.
So what I would do in terms of alignment is I would put Phoenix on an end.
Okay.
With Colossus next to him, or next to her.
Okay.
Invisible Woman in the middle.
Okay.
Doom on the other end, and Ghost next, so that nobody can really chain into Doom, if that makes sense.
Yes. Let me see. Ghost. Get this fixed up so we can get a visual here. And Doom.
Then Doom.
All right. So that's.
I think that's going to cause some problems for people.
All right, let me get that back up there. I saved it and it kicked me out. So yeah, all right. So that's the team. I would be scared to death to take that, especially when it's almost 600K.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be 600K. It's going to be super hard to single tap.
Yeah.
Even if you're throwing like Black Order at it, that's going to be super hard to do a single tap, because if you're going to kill Phoenix and you're going to get a barrier that way. But, like getting to Phoenix means that Doom has time to get going, and then Doom's blowing up on you.
All right. Yeah, I think.
So,
I think
that's going to be a hard single tap.
Yeah. So with the completion of Shadowlands, and I think I might throw this on defense, and then I'll let you know what it racks up for me.
Yeah. I mean, just trying to find ways for you to maximize the assets that you currently have that are kind of sitting homeless. Or is there anybody else that is kind of left off on an island to themselves that you're like, I don't know what to do with this character?
You know what? We can probably figure it out here. All right, so I got a good one here. So I still run this Asgardian team on defense, and obviously it's not really worth my while at this point to really go back and invest in Sift and Heimdall.
Sure.
In your point,
so
your
Thor
point,
is an option to move to wave 1.
Yeah,
for sure.
So for your point of view, what would be, other than Asgardian, what would be a better use of Hela for me at this point?
So what I use Hela on is I use Hela with Supernatural to take on Wave 1 Avenger teams mostly.
Okay.
And it works out decently well. So if you'll go to create, we'll create a Hela Natural team, and we'll talk about how that works. I'm not so worried about the order.
Okay.
So yeah, go ahead and toss Hela in the middle. That's fine, and then Supernatural. And you have a decent starting spot, because you've got a 6 red star Mordo and a 6 red star Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
So Mordo there. I would not. I would put Ghost Rider on the other side there.
Okay.
And then you want to keep Strange. And then you want to use Scarlet Witch. So that's good. You have them at least invested in the right order. So the way that this team works, and this is just simply a balancing thing. Definitely you want to bring up Ghost Rider, and then some of the other characters you need to bring up for sustain.
Okay.
A lot of the heavy damage in this is going to be in the middle. So a great thing about pairing Hela with Supernatural, every time Greg dies, and Greg dies a lot with Hela, whether you kill Greg by blowing up Greg into somebody, or an opponent targets Greg and kills him. Not only does that heal Hela, it also heals all of the supernatural, because Mordo's passive grants healing and ability energy on the death of any mystic, and Greg is technically a mystic. So when Greg dies, he spreads out healing and ability energy, which allows things like Strange to go quicker, Mordo to be able to use his stun more often, that sort of a deal. And then with Mordo, the great thing about pairing Mordo and Hela together,
Yeah.
blind and spreading out all of the different blinds. So this can work very well against Wave 1 Avengers, especially the old version of Wave 1 Avengers that has Black Widow on it, because you can kind of control out the team a little bit. If you get the stun on Hulk and then kind of start working on killing Black Widow and Hawkeye, makes it much more manageable for you to cut into the underbelly. And then Scarlet Witch is mainly there to keep your team alive with her special and extend the debuffs.
Okay. All right.
So I mean, you need a little bit of balancing out the supernatural team so that the TCP level is not so wonky.
Yeah.
And then let's look just to make sure. Can you pull up your supernatural team so that I can see some T4s?
Yeah.
Just to make sure that there's not a T4 that you're missing. Because sometimes for stuff like this, 1 or 2 T4s can make all of the difference.
Okay.
And we don't need to worry about Elsa.
Okay.
So Mordo, I bet you're fine.
I've done anything.
Oh, shit, you're not. You're not. Okay. So you want the special for sure. What the special is going to do is going to guarantee you a stun.
Oh, on the primary target. Okay.
Rather than have a 50% chance, it's going to guarantee you a stun.
Okay.
And that's unless it's resisted, but like you have a 6 red. If you feel like it's getting resisted, you may need. Oh, we're already at level 74, so you shouldn't be resisted.
Yeah.
There, and then the passive. That's going to give you the extra healing and more ability energy when a death of a mystic.
Okay.
So those two passive or those 2 T4s will really help you just for Mordo.
Okay.
If you will go through Scarlet Witch, I don't think you need any on. I think she's good as it is.
Okay.
Probably level 12, maybe level 71. Strange is going to be where you want to make sure he's chunky enough to sustain.
Okay.
Because you're going to definitely want Book of Ashanti, the ultimate. And the reason you're going to want it is it guarantees you to revive 2 characters, a dead ally, plus a supernatural.
Oh, right.
So like if 2 people die on the team, you'll get to heal or bring back 2. And with the amount of ability energy that Mordo is generating when Greg dies, the chances that Strange will get to the revive if he stays alive are much, much higher.
Okay.
So he's feeding out enough energy. I usually what happens to me when I play these matches is that Scarlet Witch is my lowest health character, and she dies. And then maybe somebody randomly, whether that's Mordo or Hela, gets RNG killed. Yeah. But Mordo is given enough energy to Strange that I instantly revive the whole team and then full clear.
All right, yeah.
It's really a safety mechanism.
Okay.
And then just for clarification, will you go back and do Strange's kit real quick?
Yeah, sure.
Master of the Arcane Arts. Yeah, that really helps him sustain a lot.
Okay.
I have that T4.
All right, T4 and the passive.
Because he'll get a deflect every time the enemy gets a buff.
Yeah.
And Wave 1 gives out a lot of buffs whenever and basically any character goes except for Hawkeye. Black Widow's going to give speed up. Captain America's going to give defense up. Hulk taunts and gives himself counter, so all of those will end up giving Strange deflex.
All right.
So yeah, that would be what I would recommend there.
All right, and then Ghost Rider?
Ghost Rider, I mean, I have lots on him, mainly because I have a G15 5 red beefy Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
But I mean, you could throw on, maybe Spirit of Vengeance. I'm just trying to remember. It's been a while since I've actually gone through their kits.
That's all right.
Yeah, he gets the extra 100% damage on the retaliation on death.
Oh yeah.
Plus, he gets 20% max health for all supernatural allies. So that one's really nice.
Yeah.
And then the other ones are just going to be additional damage.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
I hope this gives you a good idea of where to go moving forward. And I mean, you're in a really good spot.
Yeah. So
For 900 days played.
Yeah. So yeah. So I think at this point it's taking the advice that you've given me, because like, how to, like, say we're in this crazy spot right now where it's like, okay, I have time to work on balancing out teams. I have time to work on war focus, and you give me a lot of things. You give me quite a few things to think about today, along with the current plans I have. Obviously, if I'm not going to get out of Warlock on the first pass, X Factor doesn't really need to be what's next for me. I could take one of your suggestions that you made in this video. So yeah, definitely a lot of good things, a lot of value in this, and I hopefully the people watching got a lot of value out of it also.
Absolutely. Glad to do it. And I'm sure here in another 100 days or so, you're going to need even more advice for how to get into Dark Dimension 5.
Oh boy, can't wait. All right, guys. So that's where we're going to end this one. I hope you guys enjoyed this roster. Well, enjoyed my roster review by Maverick. That way you guys can see how he's broken down my roster. And in case you're curious, also on that roster review that we do here on this channel, there'll be an eye in the corner of the screen to go check out the roster review videos themselves and see if that's something that you're interested in. But with that said, we are checking out, and we will catch you guys on the next one. Bye.